Good evening, fellow punchers. Back with you again on Friday evening with a few for tomorrow. It's about 7:30, a bit later than I had planned, but as they say on television, circumstances beyond my control. I wanted to wait to come back to the house to do it because I have that gadget there to speed it up. I didn't want to be recording it outside. Another winning video, a great winner in Newcastle there earlier, City Walk. Scooted home. I didn't look at the time yet to see, but he was impressive. Fast run 5 suits, that sort of surface suits. Grand price last night, 7s. A lot of money from today into 3s, and 1 on the snaff. And Imperio has just been finished 4th to keep the each way treble going, and anyone that done an each way Trixie left a bit to do. The pace held up. It'll win a race. It raced better this evening. It learned how to settle and it ran on well. O'Brien's, yeah, the stats said that he'd win it. Joseph, he targets that race every year. But we went on the wrong O'Brien. But we're still a winning video. We're up money. That's what it's all about. There was a couple of winning tips there as well today. There was a great one from Peter Davis, running wild. I backed him. I done a Yankee actually today, and I seldom do a Yankee, but there was another lad there that put in a couple of, I had 3 out of the 4 up on a Yankee anyway. So a good all-round day. There was an early start this morning. There was a lot of them there when very early. I was on the road before 6, and Ken Ferguson was there, jogging on the spot, and Adam O'Sullivan. Yeah, that was the lad that left our man, or whatever. He left 2 tips. I think it was his first time on the bus. One of them won air to air. Aidan Dalton had his one didn't do too well. Devon Stein fancies Maze Runner in the last. He's gone against me, but that's all right. We might do. I don't know reverse forecast actually. Super Wilf. He was barking like a dog when he arrived, and we didn't know what was wrong. We thought he had a pain, but he said that Roger Varians, that every dog in the country had it, that Roger Varians would win the 7:45. He was Peter Davis. I said, yeah, running wild. He said he was a former owner of it and sold it. That horse broke his maiden. I looked at 200 to 1. I hope you were on that day, Peter. The other one, Rogue Millennium, was second. They ran a good race. It beat the favourite, or the other fancy one, but it didn't do the business. Fair play to you. That's when your wife works for a bookie on the track. That's good information to get, and please keep posting those and sharing them with us, Peter. Thanks very much. Billy Casterley had a big Navan sign up. I don't know where he was going. Was he going home or going to a disco or a match or what? But he was a little confused looking, I thought. But Meadmen are like that. Pat Dennehy from Kinturk. He's keeping me on my toes. He corrected me last night. He said that Newcastle and Chelmsford is 2 different surfaces. I knew they were different, but they're sort of like. But anyway, that's the way. Keep me in check, Pat. Good man. And speaking of Cork, there's a man living in Douglas down there in Cork, Matt Connor. I believe he's having the big birthday today, the big 8-0. So happy birthday, Matt. A little bird told me that. Where are we? We're Saturday. I've an each way lucky 15. I've an each way for the Derby, and I've 1 on the nose. Saturday, there's 4 big handicaps, and I put the 4 of them together with each way, and they're all big prices. The 255 at Newcastle, Auriferous for Andrew Balding, David Probert, a 4-year-old out of Golden Horn, has won. 4-year-olds have won this race 4 out of the last 6 times, and around 9 stone 8, or around that, is the most common weight. The selection has only won once, but that was in Southall, so that wouldn't be too dissimilar from. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pat. But he was 10 times either second or third. He has ran 16 times lifetime. His last run was 4th in Goodwin in a Class 3 over a mile 6. He is 18 to 1, and they're paying 6th places. So that's Balding's, that's the first one in. And then the 3:30 is the Pitman's Derby, known locally as that. It's the Northumberland Plate, 2 miles, won by 4 favourites in the last 10 years. And the winner of the last 10 years was drawn 17 both times, carrying 8 stone 10 and 8 stone 5. Tominator in 2013 carried 9 stone 10, and that's the highest weight carrying winning performance. Trushan is down to carry 10 stone 8 tomorrow. It'll be a big ass test. That it was 5 to 2 favourite last year, and it carried 9 stone 13. It was supposed to be carrying 10 stone 6, but it had a £7 claimer on. It's raised 120. It's given £19 to the next on the race card, number 2, like. But I'm actually sticking with the same trainer, Andrew Balding and Callum Hutchinson. He's claiming 5. He gave us a great bit of money last week on Coltrane. It's a 4-year-old out of Frankel, 5 for 17 lifetime. It's now rated 98. It's carrying 8 stone 13. His mother is Arabian Queen, who won the judgment in York in 2015, and actually beat Golden Horn into 2nd place that day. And Golden Horn was the Derby winner. It was 50 to 1, and that was owned by Jeff Smith, and this is as well, so it's a homebred, obviously. What was I going to say? Last August it won off 72 in Salisbury, so it's gone up, £26 in that length of time. It's 12 to 1, isn't it? Yeah, it's 12 to 1. So that's my each way in that one. The 450 then at the Curragh is a mile handicap. There's 20 declared. Sir Jack Thomas won it last year for Aidan McGuinness. Only one outright favourite in the last 16 runnings. That was a 5 to 2 favourite, and there was one giant favourite. Pierre Lapin is a 5-year-old gelding. It's a half-brother to Harry Angel, who was a decent horse there a few years ago. It left Roger Varian's yard in April 21, and it was raced 106. It 4 runs after that than last year for the new trainer, and the best was 3rd. I think that was in his first outing when he was raced 102. 3 runs in Medan was sort of down the field, Ulster, and his mark now is down to 92. But his 4th of last time of 27 in the Curragh in May at 50 to 1. He always targets these big handicaps with some of these horses. Ronan Whelan is up. I think it's well handicapped to that rating. It's a 9 to 1 shot, and they're paying 6 places in that as well. That's the 3rd one. And then the 525, Ides of August, a 4-year-old, Gerald Lyons trains it. He had a great evening this evening. He had at least 3 anyway. Gary Carroll is riding. It's a 3-year-old. It's the 3rd run back this year. It won off 93 in August in Dundalk last year, and it was 5th the last time to Chicago Bear, and he has a £10 pull for that. And in his first run he was like beating 11 lengths, then he was beating 5 lengths. So the 3rd run, I always like that after a layoff, and they're paying 4 places on that, and that's 20 to 1. So there's an 18 to 1, a 12 to 1, a 9 to 1, and a 20 to 1 in an each way lucky 15. The Derby is on tomorrow, mile 4, 8 declared. The Oaks winner Tuesday is supplemented. Mustn't be a great crop of 3-year-olds in Coolmore when they have no colt running at all in it. 2 other fillies won the Oaks and the Derby double. Salah Balseal and Balanchine. 5 favourites in the last 10 years, 4 odds-on favourites. And since 2005, when Hurricane Run won, that was in Coolmore colours, but was trained by Andre Fab, if I remember correctly. Aidan O'Brien has won 11 times, so 11 out of 16. The boys in blue won it last year with Hurricane Lane. I think an each way play on this is Hannibal Barca. Joseph O'Brien, Honed with Latrobe in 2018, which was 14-1. It's rated 111, so it's not that awfully far behind the top two. It's out of Zoffany. It ran in the UK last year for Brian Meehan, and it won a maiden in Salisbury, and it was fourth to Luxembourg in the Futurity. It was beaten less than 2 lengths. First run for the Curtain Yard, he won a Group 3, the Gallinall Stakes. I thought he had done it very nicely, and he pulled away. That was over a mile 2, to suggest that the extra 2 furlongs would be a plus. Joseph O'Brien's horses are on flying for him. Out of his last 63 runners, he had 17 winners in 22 seconds. That's a 27% strike rate. They're going well. He's 10-1, so I'm backing that each way. And then there's the 3:15 at Newmarket, Sunray Major, half-brother to Kingman. It was behind 2 of his rivals tomorrow. Pogo won it, but he's penalised £3 for that last winning run. Frankie was riding at the last day, and it was one of those rides that Frankie didn't do that hectic on. James Dial is up tomorrow, and I expect that to win. It's a 2-1 shot. 3 points on that. I had another one somewhere, but I don't seem to find it. Anyway, but there was 2 couples one time. They were out for dinner. They were posh couples, and they were one of the books was fidgeting with his phone anyway, so it fell down and went in under the table. So he went in under the table to get it anyway, and he noticed that his best buddy's wife had no underwear on, zilch, known commando. So anyway, he had a good peep anyway, and he liked what he saw. A bit like years ago when I remember Neela Carbridge was riding a race in Chester for Kevin Ryan on a Friday night, and she was really pulling away, and the commentator said Neela Carbridge has a peep between her legs and likes what she sees. So it was something similar with him. He liked what he saw, and he was a bit fidgety, and he banged his head against the table coming out anyway, and he got up and he was up and he didn't know what to do. So she looked over and she says, "You like what you saw?" And he said, I did. She says, "You can have it." And he says, "Yeah?" And she says, "Yes, you can have it." She says, "For 500. And he says, well, okay. He wasn't getting on great with the wife. They were on bad terms that week. So she says, "Next Friday, 1 o'clock, my house, 500. And he says, "Right, I won't be late." So anyway, he dialed himself up anyway, and he arrived at 1 o'clock anyway, and done the job, or legal terms. He partook in the arrangement, and left anyway, going off a happy man. And the husband arrived home a while later. "Home, I'm home, honey," and he not knowing what she was up to. So he said, "Did James, my friend, call around today?" She got a hop. He did. "And did he give you 500? He did." Now she was getting a bit worried, and she was wondering what the hell is going on here. How does he know this? So she says a while later, then she said, how do you know this? Well, he says, today, before I went to the golf course, he called around to the office, and he said his bank card was broke. So he borrowed 500 off me, and he said he'd drop it round and give it to you later. There you go. Wasn't that a good bit of business? Wonder where was he from? Could have been a good car, as Neil Tobin says. Chat to you tomorrow. Good luck.